Hello, welcome to Food Preparation and Nutrition. This is a very popular GCSE, currently operating 2 or even 3 GCSE groups. So why should we choose food preparation and nutrition? Basically, you've got to have a love of food. There is a strong practical focus, so enjoying cooking, making, baking of any description will be perfect. It's not only cooking though, unfortunately. You need to have a good understanding of food science, food safety, food choice, and of course nutrition and healthy eating. There will be some valuable skills that you'll develop on the course. Analysing food, evaluating different types of food and diet, good communication skills through sensory testing, working independently, obviously making your own dishes, making sure those dishes are created on time, so time management is really important, making sure you don't overrun into the next lesson, and the ability to interpret information and data. So how will it fit with other GCSE subjects? The food preparation and nutrition supports a whole range of other subjects and can be applied, particularly science. We do have a close connection with biology and to a certain degree chemistry as well. PE as well does have a very close link as well. I would mention geography as well, to do with food provenance and where our food comes from, the climate and the geography of the land. It will also help you to work independently, managing your time, as I mentioned before, which will be valuable skills for sixth form and university and beyond when you start employment. So time management and independence. So the course content, what's it all about? The whole course is basically 50% coursework and 50% final exam. Now within the content of the exam and the coursework, there's 5 key areas. Obviously the most important is food, nutrition and health, followed by food science. So that means how ingredients work and why. Food safety is paramount to the course, understanding yeast, molds, bacteria, cross-contamination, personal hygiene, etc. Food choice, so developing certain dishes for certain age groups or special dietary need. And food provenance, a relatively new topic which encompasses sustainability of food and where our food comes from. Also food processing, farming, agriculture. So quite an all-rounded topic covering the basis of nutrition right the way through to where our food comes from. So here are a little bit more detail of each of the 5 topics that are covered. So within nutrition and health, we obviously cover macronutrients and micronutrients. So that's protein, carbohydrate, fats, vitamins, minerals, water and dietary fibre. Nutritional needs and health, so linking that up to dietary related illnesses. Technological developments associated with better health. Energy need, we look at the energy balance and indeed special diets. So there's a close link there, energy needs with PE. Carrying out nutritional analysis. We have got various nutritional analysis computer programs that can work out a whole diet for the day or just individual recipes. Looking at food science, a little bit of physics here actually, looking at heat transfer, conduction, convection, radiation. We also look at the chemical and functional properties of food. Within this topic, this is very closely linked to coursework. Food safety, number 3, we look at food spoilage and contamination and how to prevent it. Buying and storing food. preparing and cooking food. So all very useful life skills. Number 4 is food choice. So factors affecting the choice of food, whether it's geography, income, nationality, etc. We look at British and international cuisine, which is quite a nice topic to do. We study in-depth sensory evaluation, taste, texture, appearance, aroma of food. Food labelling and marketing of food, which is very important, as we all have to buy our food, and understanding what's being sold to us. And last of all, food provenance. So the environmental impact and the sustainability of food, very, very important, and processing and production from farm to fork. So the structure of the course. In Year 10, students will mainly focus on the theory, which, as I've just mentioned, those 5 topic areas: food, nutrition and health, food science, food safety, food choice and food provenance. Work is currently being completed using OneNote. We do also have an electronic textbook, so students can have access to that all the time, using digital resources rather than having big heavy textbooks to carry around. There will be some practical work in Year 10, and these are called skills lessons, so developing practical skills. Some examples here are whisked sponge. We've recently just done that with Year 10, turning a whisked sponge into a Swiss roll, which we then developed into a Christmas Yule log. We look at marinading, which is tenderizing and flavoring. We do various dough making, various pastry, choux pastry, making profiteroles and chocolate eclairs. We've made apple pies. We look at piping skills. We've done pavlovas, so whisking meringue, using various electrical equipment, food processors, electric whisks, hand blenders, etc. We do sauce making as well. These are just a few that I can think of some of the key practical skills lessons that we do in Year 10. Now, when we approach Year 11, we are thinking more seriously about the final GCSE. Now, the majority of the work of Year 11 is dedicated to the completion of coursework. We now call coursework non-exam assessment, and also the revision of the Year 10 theory, ready for the external exam at the end of Year 11. So the assessment, it comprises of 2 elements, as I've just explained. The external exam, which is at the end of Year 11, is 50% of the final marks. It's a 1 hour 45-minute paper, combination of multiple choice questions, short questions and data analysis. I have some examples of that coming up. The internal assessment, which is the non-exam assessment, NEA coursework, is also worth 50% of the marks. However, this is split into 2 pieces of coursework. NEA 1 is a food science investigation. The exam board sets a theme from things like testing the gluten content of different types of flour, or the shortening of pastry, marinading and tenderizing. So the exam board sets the theme, and that changes every year. The NEA 2 is the larger of the 2 pieces of coursework, and that is a food preparation piece of coursework with a higher proportion of marks. Now, this is again set by the exam board. The theme is set by the exam board. This year the students have 3 themes to choose from. The themes they can choose from this year are international street food, foods that are high in iron, and food suitable for the elderly. So with whichever topic students choose, they do some primary and secondary research. They look for some existing products that might be suitable. They start developing recipes, and then they come up with 3 final recipes, dishes, that they would like to make for a 3-hour practical exam. And all of that is recorded or both pieces of coursework are recorded on a digital resource, so either PowerPoint or Word. Photographic evidence as well. So how it's assessed then. So the exam is 50% end of year 11, and the coursework 50% in year 11 as well. So the food investigation, in a bit more detail, we've got students' understanding of the working characteristics, functional and chemical properties of ingredients. Practical investigations are compulsory part of this, so there will be practical work and written work to back it up with photographic evidence. The food preparation assessment, which is the larger of the two, includes the 3-hour practical exam. So students' knowledge, skills and understanding in relation to planning, preparation, cooking and presentation of food, and the application of nutrition to the related task. So this is very much a nutrition-based piece of work. The tasks are released by the exam board and change each year, as I just mentioned. So students will prepare, cook and present a final menu of 3 dishes within that 3-hour practical. And that again is backed up with a written portfolio and photographic evidence. Going back to the exam then, so these are a few sample exam questions. So multiple choice, short answer questions, data response and case study. So there's no long essays. They're very much quite sort of active type questions. So what's required from students? There are 12 skills that are fundamental for the practical element of the course. Just general practical skills which students should have developed by the end of year 9, ready for year 10. So weighing, measuring, selecting and adjusting cooking times, testing for readiness and judging and modifying sensory qualities, using knives successfully for skill 2, so cutting fruit and veg, meat and fish. Skill 3, preparing fruit and vegetables. I know in year 9 we've done a lot of onion cutting, potato peeling, etc. Skill 4, using the cooker, so using both the hob, the grill and the oven. Skill 5, using equipment, so a hand blender, food processor, a mixer, a pasta machine, microwave. We've also got air fryers, deep fat fryers, ice cream makers, to mention a few. So being able to use more technical equipment than just basic equipment. Number 6, cooking methods. So using water-based, such as boiling and simmering, dry heat, such as baking, grilling, barbecuing, and then your fat-based methods of cooking. Number 7, prepare, combine and shape. So rolling out mixtures, wrapping, mixing, coating and layering. So lots of dough making there, possibly lasagnas, etc. Sauce making, starch based, so that would be a roux sauce, reduction sauce, emulsion such as mayonnaise. Tenderizing and marinade, skill 9, so using acid to denature protein. Marinades to add flavour and moisture. Number 10, dough making, so we're looking there at basic breads, enriched breads, pastry making, all sorts of pastries, short crust, puff pastry, choux pastry, maybe even hot watercress pastry as well. Pasta making as well, and all of those need to be shaped and finished to a high degree. Number 11, raising agents, chemical raising agents such as baking powder or bicarbonate of soda. Steam, so you've got your good old Yorkshire puddings and profiteroles that rise with steam. Mechanical, such as meringues, and biological raising agents, which is yeast, so your enriched doughs and breads. And last of all, setting mixture, so setting in the fridge, so that's removal of heat, protein, which is your coagulation setting, and gels as well. I'm just going to show you a few examples of some really nice practical work now. So those are some dishes that have been prepared previously by GCSE students. So we've got some pasta making, ravioli, we've got some mousses, some layered Cornish pasties, meringues, etc. Students really enjoy doing the practical work. So expectations of students. Students, first of all, need to be totally interested in food in all its forms, the cooking, presentation, nutrition, hygiene, etc. So food has to be top of the priority, not eating. A lot of students might enter the course or think about doing the course thinking they're going to be cooking every lesson and eating. We're not a canteen, it is a GCSE subject. Expect to work hard in practical lessons. Sometimes, if it's an extended practical, it may be required that you come in during a break time to get an early start. Practice making dishes and experimenting with recipes at home. Obviously, we only have a limited amount of time in school, in lessons, to do practical work. So there is some expectation that some experimenting and practicing happens at home. Revising hard with the theory. This will be mainly covered in Year 10 along with practical work, but we'll be having some recap in Year 11 when we're doing the coursework. Having an inquiring mind, working out investigations with the ingredients, how they work, being organised and planning ahead with recipes. Cooking at home, as I mentioned, the more the practice the better, even if it's just stirring sauces, judging the temperature of the oven. Any little thing can help at home, so get them peeling potatoes, it will definitely help. Watching foodie type programs, the documentaries will really help with the theory, and all the lovely cooking programs, British Bake Off, MasterChef, etc. There's quite a few now to do with supermarkets and healthy eating. Watch all those, they're really good. Being health aware, understanding what you're eating, look at food packaging before you just dive in, and most of all, enjoy and appreciate food. Future pathways then, so looking ahead, the food industry is massive, £96 billion to the UK economy. Food is everywhere. We eat it 3 or 4 times a day, everybody, all the time, 365 days a year. So the food industry is providing that for us. There's some example careers I've put here. So we've got regulation, things like quality control, marketing, advertising, education, research and development. So that's looking more of the food science, food technology side, financial services, manufacturing, agricultural, farm machinery, etc., the supply chain, food processing, the processing of ingredients to make the final products, marketing, selling food, promoting, advertising, wholesale and distribution, logistics, transport, warehousing, retailing, we've got the supermarket retail chains, catering, large-scale corporate, independent cafes, restaurants, hotels, healthcare, dietitian, nursing, health visitor, etc., and sport, to mention a few of the careers. Thank you for watching and attending this presentation. If you do have any questions regarding GCSE food preparation and nutrition, I'm always available by email. My email there is ashaw@seaford.org, and I have a Zoom link should you want to speak to me personally. Once again, thank you very much. Bye-bye.